Hey, my name is Joshua Dixon, and as I continue to make these videos with you all for the YouTube page, I love making these long form content. And being able to do this allows me to work on my motivational speaking skills, my public speaking skills, and it just allows me to better connect in a longer form that 1 minute and 30 seconds doesn't allow me to do. It doesn't serve me the justice that I want. I want to be able to share this time with you, to have a conversation with you, to be able to talk with you. And today we're going to talk about promises. Are you going to promise me something? I need you to promise me that you're going to hold on to hope for yourself, not just for others, not just for your kids, but hold on to hope for you, for yourself. And if you break that promise, then I might break mine. So I need you to hold on to hope. Growing up, dealing with the multiplicity of the surgeries that I've had 62 surgeries in the past almost 17 years. This Thursday, December 5th, 2024, will make 17 years since I was attacked by my family's two pit bulls and lost 80% of my face, my nose, upper and lower eyelid to my left eye, have a cornea shattered, and I have prosthetic ears. I lost both of my ears that day. That day ultimately changed my life. And as I got older, I dealt with bullying, I dealt with hate, I dealt with judgment. I dealt with people not even wanting to be around me, even sometimes those who were close to me. This immense view made me feel really sad, really depressed, dealing with the toxicity that was going on at home with my parents, abuse in their marriage, and how that affected me and my brother, and how that made me even more retreat into my shell. I was just a kid having a surgery every 2 weeks or once a month or every so often. I've had a bulk of pretty much 50 surgeries within 5 years. That's an average of 10 surgeries a year. Very intense, life threatening surgeries to restore my life so I can be a kid and be considered normal to not just myself, but to the world. Try to get back to what younger Josh looks like before the accident. My doctor did a phenomenal job. At that time, I would say I didn't always I didn't always think that we were making progress because people kept hurting me, bullying me, denying me just the right to be human, to be myself, to be coexisting in their space. And so when I got older, 16 years old, in high school, sophomore in high school, I thought about taking myself out of this world. I wrote a suicide letter and I posted it on Facebook for my family to see, really as a last cry to help. Saying how hard my life really, really is and how I can't bear this pain no more. This emotional pain is too much for me. And we can talk more about that in later videos. But after talking with my mom, she made me promise that I wasn't going to take my life, that I was going to get help and do the best that I can. And that she promised that she was going to be there with me every step of the way. And that was a pinky promise. She pinky promised me that day. And as I was working through my recovery, through counseling, and through various of cares, to figure out how can I best exist in this world and take care of my mental health and take care of the pain, take care of the mental trauma that I've endured throughout the years, and while I'm also ongoing through physical traumas. It started with a commitment and how important that was to me. I wanted no one to feel what I felt. I know wanted no one to feel what 16, what 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6 years old Joshua felt like. He was scared. He was afraid. He felt like he wasn't able to speak up. He wasn't able to vocalize himself. Sometimes I was, but it wasn't great. I wouldn't say necessarily perfect because perfect is a social construct that humanity created, but we can't live up to it because perfect doesn't exist. The view of perfection, it's going to be different for me and for you and for everyone in this room. If we all can't agree on what the definition of perfection is, that means that in a way, that example may disappoint anybody in this crowd. That it may not bring that perfected satisfaction. And we view ourselves as perfections, as if we should be perfect, as if we need to be perfect. But you know what needs to be perfect? Just you being you. You being you is the best that you can do. The best that I could do is me being me. I promised myself at 16 and a half years old that I was going to do the best that I can to survive through my emotional traumas that endured more pain onto me than my physical traumas. I made a promise to myself that I was going to do this for my mom because I wasn't necessarily ready to do it for me yet. I didn't see the purpose in the pain and in the tears yet. And sitting here in this same exact room almost 10 years ago, I said, with the artwork that I'm creating, with photography, I want to be able to create conversations that we're not having enough of. I want to be able to have talks about things that I feel like we're not having enough of as a society, as a human race, as a culture, as minorities, as students, as kids. We need to have more conversations of inclusivity, of different abilities and different ability statuses, and the way that though we are different, we have common ground. Though that I may look different than a lot of people on this planet, but I'm still very familiar to a lot of them at heart. I made that promise to myself that I wanted to use my pain and I wanted to learn from it and to teach others and to share with others so that they don't ever have to go through it. That's where promises got really, really meaningful to me because it was something I had to keep. It wasn't me giving a promise to someone else. It wasn't me holding someone else accountable. It was me holding me accountable for my life, for where I want to be, for my purpose, and for my future. But for how I wanted others to see me and how I wanted to help them. Because I know that I wasn't alone in my pain and my sorrow. I wasn't alone in my isolation and in my own disappointment. I wasn't alone in my own medical journey. Some of the strongest people around us may be the ones struggling the most. And so making that promise and that commitment to myself is part of the reason why I'm still here today. Though I had another suicide attempt later on in time, but I'm still here today because I kept that promise. And I'm continuing to keep that promise and putting in that work so that no one has to go through what I've been through. That I can be a teacher, that I can be a leader, that I can turn tears into roses for someone else. So as I sit here and tell you my story, I need you to promise me something. I need you to promise me that you're going to hold on to yourself and you're going to Hold yourself accountable for your own happiness, for your own love, for your own satisfaction, for your own glory, from glory to glory. And promise me that you're going to be safe, that you're going to take care of yourself, that you're going to treat yourself as the best friend that you deserve. We are all still that inner kid, that we are all still have that inner child within us. Promise to take care of him or her or they. Promise to hold on. Don't let go. And that's a pinky promise, because that same promise that I want you to make is I'm willing to make with you. Promises mean a lot, but it holds us accountable. Holds us accountable for things that may be hard. It may be hard to take care of yourself, but it is so worth it. It may be hard to listen to what I said, but it's worth it. We live in a time where it's important now more than ever to enact kindness and to act care, not just to others, but to ourselves, because that allows us to be better people in this world. We live in this world where we're told to undermine our emotions, to undermine what we've been through, to undermine our depression, to undermine our anxiety, undermine our PTSD. And that bubbles in within the soul and troubles the soul and troubles the inner child. And now you're in this fight and flight mode every single day, feeling like you're fighting for your life, because you are. And I promise that it gets better with time plus care. See, you hear what I said there? Because people say things get better with time. But no, it gets better with time plus care. Equals healing, growth, and positivity. It equals hope. I never thought that I was gonna have a dog after the accident. I didn't rule it out though. I just didn't know when and where and what and how. But I held on to life. I held on to that hope that God woke me up another day to be different, to be better than I was yesterday. He gave me this body, He gave me this story. He said, Jeremiah chapter 1, verse 5, before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. Before you were born, I set you apart. I appointed you as prophet to the nations. My story was made before I even got it. And I often feel like that this is too much of a burden to bear. But if it was, I wouldn't be living it. I've gotten something that I can handle, that I've made it through, that I've made it through 100% of my worst days. I've made it through them. I made it through 100% of every day in life, the good, bad, and ugly. And I'm still here fighting and thriving and remaining hopeful and excited to see what tomorrow brings, but also excited to seize the moment that's ahead of me right here, right now. Because I can't change the past, I can only learn from it. I can't change the future because it doesn't exist yet, and that's tomorrow's problems. But today's problems is having that commitment, having that promise. Promise me that you're going to drive home safely. Promise me that you're going to remind yourself that you're not alone. Promise me that you're going to remind yourself that you are enough and that you're always enough. Promise me that you will hold on to hope and hold on to faith. Promise me, pinky promise me, that you're going to admire yourself like the way you admire me. The way you admire my story, the way you admire my testimony, I need you to look into the mirror and say that you admire you for all that you've been through. And that we got this. And that's you talking to yourself. You and you got this. because you will ultimately get through any storm that is faced your way because you've already done it. I need you to see that. And that's a part of what I want to do in this world is I want to show people their potential. I want to show people their worth. I want to show people their value because if I can help people see what they have in themselves, it helps other people around them. It helps spread those seeds around the vastness of oceans. It helps blossom the hearts of others. In order to love someone fully, we have to want we have to love ourselves. So even though we're nice to people, even though we act kindness to people, we have to start with being kind to our mind, to taking care of our mind so that we can better care for someone else's. Because we're all empathetic creatures and we all are children of God. Whether you believe in God or not, your faith is your faith, your belief is your belief. To touch on that is I believe that in order to have hope into the unknown, you have to believe in something that you can't always see. Faith isn't something that you can always see or hear or read about, something that you feel. It's a gut feeling, but it's one worth believing in and worth having a commitment to, in saying that, hey, there is something bigger than me. There is something more powerful than me. There is something that anointed me. I believe that I can get through this because they too have once gone through this. They too are an example of success, an example of triumphs, example of courage, example of applying the tools to make it happen. They're examples of hope. They are the testimony that I am looking for so that I can get through this thing we call life and have a testimony of my own to pass down to someone else. One of the greatest gifts that we have is our story. I'm here to share that with you and here to listen to your story and here to help you share your story with others. Because trust me, you're not a victim, you're a survivor. You're an admirer. We're gonna channel that power, that energy. I want you to not give up. Promise me you're not gonna give up. Pinky promise. I love you. And if you enjoy this video, please subscribe. Please share with loved ones. Please leave a like and leave a comment. Let me know what things that you liked the most, what things that you didn't like about this video, things that I can improve on, because I am learning alongside. Um, this is just the beginning to an amazing journey together. I love you. Have a phenomenal day out there. Remember, it might be storming, it might be snowing, it might seem like you can't get through it, but you can, and you will. And you will survive any storm because we're in it together. Love you. Bye.